Archangel Michael says, "You have 3 hours until this blessing arrives. Don't make the mistake of ignoring it. Open now." In these quiet moments, where your heart is open and your spirit is listening, know that you are being watched over. There is a sacred blessing, already sent your way, moving quietly through the path that God has prepared just for you. It will not arrive with thunder or loud signs. It will not knock wildly at your door. Instead, it will settle softly in your life, bringing peace, healing, and a touch of God's love that will leave you changed forever. You may not see it at first, but you will feel it, like sunlight warming your soul after a long night. Type Amen if you believe. Sometimes, it takes only one moment of true faith to open the floodgates of miracles. That moment could be now. You may have been tired, weary, unsure of how to keep moving forward. But heaven never stopped watching over you. Even when the nights felt long and lonely, even when you wondered if your prayers had been heard, God was never silent. He was working in the quiet, building something so perfect for you that all your sorrow will soon make sense. Your heartache was not forgotten. Your journey has not been overlooked. You are not late. This is your moment. Each trial you endured carved space within you for this very blessing. Every tear you cried watered the soil of your faith, and now the seeds God planted in your life are finally blooming. You may not realize how close you are to the breakthrough, but heaven is rejoicing because it sees it coming. There's no need to run. Just open your heart. The blessing that is coming is not based on your strength, your perfection, or your past. It is born from God's mercy, from His endless love, from His decision to show you that He still writes the best stories with broken people and bruised hearts. Do not mistake the silence for absence. Do not let the delays convince you that you've been denied. Sometimes God's greatest gifts arrive disguised as quiet days and still hours. Sometimes, they take their time, not because He is unsure, but because He is preparing everything to be exactly right. And now, it is almost here. Archangel Michael, sent by God's command, brings this assurance to your heart today, not just to give you hope, but to remind you that your name is written in the palm of God's hand. What if you could unlock a secret brain wave that top scientists discovered inside the hippocampus, the very switch that signals wealth and abundance? Hidden from the public for decades, this breakthrough can rewire your mind to attract prosperity faster than you imagined. Picture the stress of bills replaced with financial freedom and new opportunities. Every delay is a missed blessing, and those who act now are already walking into the wealth you deserve. Step forward before the door closes. Click the link in the video description and comments below to activate this ancient money wave and step into abundance today. The pain you have carried, the fears you have hidden, the moments you wanted to give up, God saw them all. He gathered them, not to shame you, but to turn them into something beautiful. There is nothing you have been through that cannot be used by the one who knows how to turn ashes into beauty. When you place your life in the hands of the Lord, nothing is wasted. Not a single breath, not a single cry, not a single broken piece. He gathers it all and weaves it into a tapestry that will one day leave you speechless with wonder. Type 1111 if you trust in God. Your life is not small in heaven's eyes. You are not forgotten in the crowd. You are not just another soul. You are chosen, known, and deeply loved. God sees every corner of your heart. He knows the hidden dreams you've never spoken aloud. He knows the prayers you whispered with trembling lips and the moments you held on even when everything inside you wanted to let go. And because He knows, He is moving. Because He knows, He is sending the blessing. When Archangel Michael speaks, it is not to scare you or push you, it is to gently nudge you back toward the place where your soul remembers who you are. A child of God. Covered by grace. Held by eternal hands. Your story is not over, and your miracle is not lost. It is closer than ever before. The hours ahead are not ordinary. They carry the mark of something sacred. This blessing may not come with noise or bright lights, but it will arrive like a sunrise that makes the darkness disappear, quietly but completely. There are times when God speaks to your heart through peace. A still, soft voice that calms every storm inside you. That is how this blessing will feel, like coming home after being lost for too long. Like finally breathing again after holding your breath in fear. There will be no mistaking it, because your soul will recognize it, and your spirit will weep with relief. Not because you begged, but because you believed. And even when your faith wavered, God remained faithful. He never left you. He never walked away. He stayed. Heaven doesn't operate on human time, but when it says now, it means now. This is the time to open your heart without hesitation. Let go of the worry, release the fear, and lift your eyes. God is still the same today as He was yesterday. The same one who raised the dead, healed the sick, calmed the storm, and walked on water, He is the one watching over you right now. He knows what is best for you, and His plans have always been more beautiful than anything you could dream. Type 222 if you believe your time is near. There are blessings already woven into the steps you are about to take. You may feel unprepared. You may feel worn from waiting. But the heavens are not looking for your strength, they are responding to your faith. Faith that chooses to believe even when nothing around you makes sense. Faith that trusts in God's timing even when your heart is growing tired. Faith that keeps the light burning, even in the middle of the storm. This moment you are in may feel heavy, but it is not the end. It is the turning point. The shift you cannot yet see has already been set into motion. The same God who spoke the stars into being has spoken over your life. His words are never empty. They carry power, healing, restoration, and purpose. You have walked through the valley, but the mountaintop is ahead. And what is waiting for you there will make every tear you shed feel like it was watering the roots of your miracle. The pain didn't break you. The fear didn't drown you. The delay didn't destroy you. You are still standing, and that is proof that heaven is not finished with you yet. Archangel Michael stands near, not just as a messenger but as a warrior, clearing the path for what is divinely yours. What you thought was lost will return. What you thought was too broken will be made whole. What you thought would never come will arrive, dressed in peace and clothed in grace. The days of striving in your own strength are coming to a close. The blessing that approaches does not require you to struggle for it. It only asks that you open your heart and trust. Not because you've earned it. Not because you're perfect, but because you are deeply, endlessly loved by the Father who never turns his face away from you. His love has always been the answer. His love has always been the way through. And now, his love is bringing the breakthrough. There are times when it feels like the more we pray, the more silent everything becomes. But the silence is not proof that God is absent. It is the quiet before the shift. The pause before the blessing arrives. Like the stillness before the sun rises, or the breath the earth takes before the rain falls. This is that kind of moment. And if you can just hold on a little longer, you will see what he has been preparing in the shadows all along. Type 555 if you trust his timing. He has been walking beside you in every season, when you had no answers, when the nights felt cold and unending, when you smiled to hide your worry, and when your prayers were laced with desperation. Every moment mattered to him. He collected each sigh, each whispered plea, and every time you chose kindness when you felt empty. Nothing was missed. And now, heaven is opening its hand. The blessing that is about to come will not just touch one part of your life. It will ripple through every area that has felt dry and lifeless. It will bring clarity where there was confusion, healing where there was pain, and peace where there was unrest. This is not a small shift. It is a divine movement, a sacred turn in your story where everything begins to make sense. And you, beloved child of God, are standing right at the threshold. A mysterious 9-word prayer once sealed inside a private government vault is now resurfacing, and people everywhere are seeing financial breakthroughs overnight. Experts say it triggers a long silent part of the human brain responsible for abundance and wealth attraction. It takes less than 30 seconds to repeat, yet it's turning struggle into prosperity. Thousands are reporting cleared loans, sudden cash inflows, and unexpected blessings. Click the link in the description and comments before this secret disappears again. There is something beautiful about brokenness when it is placed in God's hands. It becomes the soil where miracles grow. Your scars, your wounds, your weariness, they are not signs of failure. They are proof that you are still here. That grace has carried you. That mercy has covered you. And now, that same mercy is writing a new page, one where joy is restored and hope is no longer a distant dream but a living, breathing reality. Archangel Michael sees what's coming, and that is why his message carries such weight. The hours ahead are rich with promise. You may not feel different, and the world around you may not change instantly, but within the unseen, things are already moving. Angels are aligning. Doors are unlocking. Favor is gathering. Your name has been spoken in heavenly places, and when heaven moves, nothing can stand in its way. The blessing that is near will be marked by peace. It will come not to rush you but to settle you. It will quiet the questions, calm the chaos, and remind you that you were never forsaken. This blessing will hold your heart gently and restore the parts of you that life tried to wear down. It will make you feel known, chosen, and seen by the God who never looked away. Type yes to affirm you are ready for God's plan. There have been seasons where you walked through fire, not because you were being punished, but because you were being refined. The struggles you endured did not come to break you, but to reveal the strength that was hidden inside you. There were days when you felt like giving up, and yet you stayed. There were nights when no one saw your tears but God, and still, you hoped. That hope, however small it felt, was enough. That mustard seed of faith was seen by heaven, and now it is bearing fruit. Archangel Michael stands not just as a witness to your pain but as a guardian of your promise. His words are not to alarm, but to awaken. Heaven does not send reminders unless something beautiful is drawing near. And what is coming to you in this sacred hour is not just a shift, it is a divine appointment. A moment chosen by God Himself to remind you that your prayers have always been in motion, even when you could not see the waves they created. The world may have told you that you are too late or too far gone or too broken. But heaven has never once agreed with those lies. In the eyes of God, your story is still being written with love. The blessing coming is not a reward for perfection, it is a gift from grace. You do not have to chase it. You only have to receive it with an open heart, like a flower turning toward the morning sun. There are angels who have walked beside you in silence, guarding your steps, lifting you when you stumbled, and whispering encouragement into the corners of your soul when you were too tired to pray. And now, those same angels, under the command of the Lord, are preparing to deliver joy to your life in a way that will touch even the parts you thought were beyond repair. Type 1212 if you walk by faith and not by sight. What comes next will not always make sense to the mind, but it will make peace with your heart. God's ways are not always understandable, but they are always perfect. He sees beyond the moment. He sees the entire path, from the brokenness you've walked through to the beauty He's leading you into. Every delay had a reason. Every closed door was protection. And every yes that is now on its way is arriving with the full weight of heaven's promise behind it. You are not standing on empty ground. You are standing on prayers, on promises, on divine timing that cannot be rushed or ruined. God has not forgotten what He spoke over your life. He has not changed His mind about you. What He began in you, He will finish. What He whispered to your heart in the quiet moments, He will bring to life in His time. This blessing is not just about answered prayers. It is about transformation. It is about healing your heart in ways you didn't think were possible. It is about restoring joy where grief lived too long, about breathing life into dreams you had buried deep inside. It is about lifting the heaviness that sat quietly on your chest for far too long and replacing it with a peace that makes no sense to the world but feels like home to your soul. God does not bless halfway. When He moves, He brings completion. This next chapter of your life will carry signs of His fingerprints all over it. Unexpected favor. Quiet reassurance. Doors that open without explanation. People entering your life with hearts aligned with God's will. Answers to questions that once kept you up at night. This is not just a season of change, it is a season of fulfillment. You may look around and still see the storm. You may still feel the weight of yesterday clinging to your shoulders. But don't let it fool you. The shift is already happening. The blessing is already on the way. Heaven does not announce what it does not intend to deliver. And Archangel Michael has come with this reminder so that you don't close your heart just before the light breaks through. Let go of the timelines you've set. Release the pressure to have it all figured out. God's plan has never depended on your understanding, only your trust. There is a beauty in surrender that opens doors far quicker than striving ever could. And as you lay down your worry and pick up your faith again, you will begin to feel the winds of change growing stronger. Not around you, but within you. The pain that once felt like it would never leave is already loosening its grip. The heaviness that followed you for years is beginning to lift. You are not imagining it. Your spirit knows the truth before your eyes ever see it. That is why you feel the stirring. That is why this moment feels different. Because it is. Because God is not far. He is close. And His hands are full of blessings that are already being poured into your life. So breathe deeply. Stand still in your faith. And know, without a shadow of doubt, that something sacred is arriving. This is not the end. It is the beginning of a new page in your story, written by the one who knows you best, loves you most, and never lets go. He is coming with healing in His wings, with joy in His breath, and with blessings far greater than what you imagined when you prayed in tears. Type 666 if you trust Jesus with everything. Archangel Michael has been sent once again as a faithful voice, to guide your spirit and remind your heart of what it's always known: you are loved beyond measure, watched over without pause, and called by name into something greater than you can yet see. The past you carry, no matter how heavy, is not too much for God. He has carried far greater and restored far more broken stories. Yours is not the exception. Yours is the next testimony. So many times, you've looked around and seen others receive their blessings while your prayers echoed back at you in silence. It may have felt like God passed you by, like heaven had skipped your name. But that's never been true. What felt like delay was God's protection. What seemed like unanswered prayer was preparation. Heaven hasn't forgotten you. It's been preparing the blessing to meet you in the most perfect, undeniable, life-changing way. You may not have seen the quiet things God has done for you, how many disasters were blocked before they touched you, how many attacks were silenced before they reached your heart, how many tears were caught in His hands before they ever fell. But now, the blessing that has been forming in the unseen is beginning to take shape in your reality. It is moving closer. It is coming not with a whisper of hope but with a wave of renewal that will leave you weeping in joy and peace. This isn't just about receiving what you've prayed for. This is about becoming the person you were always meant to be. A child of heaven who walks in quiet strength, whose peace doesn't come from the world, but from the closeness of God. This is about healing that runs deeper than what others can see. Healing that touches the private wounds you've carried alone. Healing that doesn't just restore what you lost but gives you back more than you knew to ask for. Buried deep in forgotten archives, a 9-word phrase once hidden from the public is now transforming ordinary lives. Neuroscientists call it a wealth frequency activator, because it awakens a part of the brain that naturally draws prosperity. It takes just seconds to speak, but the change can last a lifetime. People are waking up debt-free and financially secure. The page could vanish at any moment. Click the link before it's gone for good. There's something sacred about waiting with expectation. Even in your weakest moments, you've held on to just enough faith to keep your heart open. That was enough. That flicker of hope was enough for heaven to respond. God never needed perfection from you, He only ever wanted your trust. And even when you felt like you had nothing left to give, your willingness to believe, even slightly, was the door He needed to walk in. Type 1919 to receive miracles in your life. You have cried. You have battled. You have grown weary. But none of it was in vain. Your faithfulness, even when the answers were slow to come, has not gone unnoticed. God is not a distant figure sitting in silence. He is near. He has been whispering your name in places of promise, preparing others to bless you, preparing your heart to receive without fear, preparing every moment of this next season with divine precision. The blessing that is near is not ordinary. It is not just a small gift wrapped in earthly comforts. It is heaven touching your life in a way that shifts the direction of everything. It is God's breath breathing new life into the places where you gave up. It is joy returning after long grief. It is laughter finding its way back into your days. It is forgiveness washing away what shame tried to keep buried. It is purpose rising again in your heart. Archangel Michael speaks because the hour is sacred. Not because of fear, but because of urgency. Heaven does not want you to miss what's coming by turning your eyes to doubt. Keep your heart soft. Let the walls fall. Let yourself be found by God again. He never stopped loving you. He never stopped believing in the goodness He placed inside of you. He sees the light that the world tried to dim, and He is reigniting it now with fresh fire. There is a weight lifting off your shoulders, even now, as you read this. A release of burdens you weren't meant to carry. The guilt, the fear, the wondering if you're enough, God is replacing them with peace. You do not have to prove anything. You do not have to beg. You only have to be still and know that He is God. And He is good. Not just to others, but to you. Every door that closed behind you was meant to protect what God had planned for you. Every no you faced was leading you toward a better yes. And now, that yes is closer than it's ever been. Not because you forced it, but because heaven has declared that it's time. And when heaven speaks, nothing can stand in the way. So take a deep breath. Let hope rise again in your heart. Picture the blessing already unfolding in your life. Picture yourself waking up with joy instead of fear, walking in peace instead of worry, speaking with boldness instead of shame. Picture the way God is going to use your life, not in spite of your brokenness, but because of it. Your story will not just inspire others, it will carry light into places that have long been dark. Type 2323 if you agree that something holy is moving in your life. For so long, you've carried the weight of unanswered prayers, quietly hoping that just one would be heard. You've given your best when your hands felt empty, and you've chosen love when pain made it hard to keep your heart open. These moments were not small in the eyes of God. Every step you've taken in faith, every time you chose to rise after falling, each quiet act of kindness when you felt unseen, it all matters. God has not missed a single moment of your faithfulness, and now, He is responding with the fullness of His love. You may have been waiting for a sign, something to let you know that the tide is turning. This is it. The peace you feel as these words reach you, the warmth settling over your spirit, the soft pull on your heart reminding you to breathe, that's not just comfort, it's confirmation. It's heaven saying, yes, I see you. And yes, I'm coming. You've been walking through a season that has tested everything in you, but it's about to give way to something more gentle, more joyful, more full of God's goodness than anything you've known before. The road you've been walking wasn't for nothing. It led you here, to this very moment where your faith is about to meet fulfillment. Archangel Michael stands as a guardian in the space between where you've been and where you're going. He has seen the struggle. He has witnessed the moments you thought would break you. But more than that, he has seen the strength that's been growing inside of you, strength not built from pride or control, but from surrender, trust, and quiet resilience. There is no part of your journey that cannot be used for good. The broken pieces, the missed turns, the silent battles, God can and will use every one of them to create something that speaks of His grace. The blessing coming your way is not a repair of what was. It's a rebirth. A new chapter that does not require your past to make sense, but simply asks that you walk forward with your heart open and your spirit soft. What if a simple 7-minute sound frequency could awaken a forgotten brain signal designed to pull wealth toward you like a magnet? Backed by shocking CIA files and neuroscience, this discovery is now changing lives everywhere. Think of debts melting away, promotions arriving, and abundance flowing freely. This is the one moment that can rewrite your future, but only if you claim it now, because hesitation will only keep you chained to the same struggles. Click the link in video description and comments below to experience the hidden wealth wave and let your financial destiny shift in your favor today. This is not just about receiving something from God. It's about being reminded of who you are in Him. You are not defined by your mistakes. You are not shaped by your pain. You are God's beloved, chosen before time, carried through every storm, and now standing on the edge of divine transformation. There is nothing ordinary about your life. You were made for moments like this, where faith is rewarded, and love pours down like rain on dry ground. Type Amen if you believe that your story is not over yet. Heaven's timeline is perfect, even when it stretches longer than we hoped. The delay you experienced was not a denial, it was a pause to align everything in your life for this moment. What you're about to receive will make the waiting worth it. It will not only restore what was lost but bring new joy, new connections, and new clarity. You will wake up one morning soon and realize the heaviness has lifted, and in its place is a peace that feels like home. The blessing will not arrive because you fought hard enough, prayed long enough, or earned it. It will come because you are loved. Deeply, fiercely, eternally loved by the God who sees beyond the surface. His love is the reason. His mercy is the cause. And His timing is now. You don't need to make sense of how it will happen. You only need to be open enough to receive it when it does. Let your heart rest in this truth: God has already written the ending of the story that tried to undo you. He's already finished the chapter where healing replaces pain, where tears are dried, and where laughter returns. And it's beautiful. It's coming. And it has your name written all over it. The hours ahead are not to be feared, they are to be welcomed with quiet gratitude. Because heaven is about to leave a mark on your life that no doubt can erase. You will recognize this blessing when it arrives, not because of how grand it is, but because of the peace that will settle over you when it does. It won't need to prove itself. Your soul will know. It will feel like warmth after winter, like sunlight after endless clouds. You will feel safe again. Steady. Held. And in that moment, every hurt will begin to fade, not because it never mattered, but because God will have used it to lead you back into His arms. Archangel Michael continues to walk beside you, not just as a protector but as a gentle voice reminding you that heaven is never far. Every time you doubted, He stood nearby. Every time you wept, He watched over you. And now, He moves with joy, knowing that your wait is nearly over and your spirit is ready to rise again. Type 1111 if you trust in God's divine timing. This moment is more than a breath between days. It's a turning point wrapped in grace. Archangel Michael comes not only to bring you comfort but to remind you that the battle has already been fought on your behalf, and victory has already been written into your future. The struggles you've endured have not been meaningless. Each one carved room inside of you for a joy that is deeper, truer, and lasting. The blessing that is coming isn't a temporary fix, it's a sacred fulfillment. There have been nights when you asked God why. Why the delay, why the pain, why the silence? And in those moments, it felt like your words vanished into empty space. But not a single word was missed. God heard it all. He listened, not as someone far away, but as a father sitting beside you, holding your heart while it ached, never turning away even when you had nothing left to say. You were never speaking into the void. You were speaking into heaven's hands. Now those hands are open. He is not late. He is precise. What He is about to place in your life will fit perfectly into the places that once felt empty. It will not overwhelm you. It will not confuse you. It will feel right. Because He knows your heart better than anyone. He knows what makes you feel alive, what quiets your storms, and what brings tears to your eyes in the best way. That is the blessing He's sending, not something random, not something small, but something deeply personal and profoundly healing. You didn't walk through the fire for nothing. You didn't wait all this time to be forgotten. Every minute of patience, every act of trust, every whispered prayer of, "God, I believe you still can," has brought you to this place. And this place, right here, is holy. Not because everything is perfect yet, but because heaven is close. Your next chapter begins not with a bang, but with a whisper from God that says, "I've seen you, and I'm answering." There's a gentleness in this blessing that will surprise you. After so many storms, after years of feeling like you had to hold everything together, this will feel like rest. Like breathing without fear. Like walking without wondering when the ground will fall out beneath you again. God is not just giving you a moment of joy, He's giving you a new way of living, one built on trust, peace, and steady grace. Type 2020 to claim miracles over your life and your future. You will not have to chase this blessing. You won't have to fight for it. You'll know it's from God because it will come to you with peace, not pressure. It will feel like something your soul already knew was coming. That's what happens when heaven moves. You recognize the fingerprints of God on things you never even knew how to ask for. And when it happens, your only job will be to receive it with a grateful heart. What if the missing piece to financial success wasn't luck, but a hidden frequency inside your brain waiting to be switched on? Once activated, this ancient signal unleashes waves of prosperity, opening doors to opportunities you never thought possible. From sudden windfalls to long-awaited breakthroughs, it's transforming lives daily. Want to see how? Click the link in the video description and comments below to tap into the money magnet brain wave and begin your journey today. Others are already awakening this hidden signal and watching their lives transform. Do not be the one left behind while abundance passes you by. The beauty of God's timing is that it always arrives when your spirit is truly ready, even if your mind still feels uncertain. You may think you're not prepared, but heaven knows differently. God doesn't look at your doubts or your fears and turn away. He looks at your heart and sees the faith that stayed even when everything around you said give up. That is what He honors. That is what He blesses. This isn't just about a breakthrough in your life. It's about transformation in your soul. The kind that doesn't just shift your circumstances but reshapes how you see the world. After this blessing comes, you won't carry the same fears. You won't walk with the same weight. You'll look in the mirror and see someone who survived what tried to break you, someone who found hope again, someone who knows now, without a doubt, that God never left. Archangel Michael watches with joy, because he knows what's ahead. He knows the healing that's about to settle over your life like a soft rain on thirsty ground. He knows the restoration that's already moving through every part of your story. He sees the tables turning, the prayers unfolding, the way heaven is making a way where there was none before. And He whispers not with warning, but with assurance, get ready. Because when this blessing arrives, it will change how you see everything. The world may still be busy. People may still be rushing past each other. But your heart will know peace. It will know the sound of God's voice whispering, "This is for you." And no one will be able to take it. No fear, no lie, no setback can remove what heaven delivers. It will be yours because it was always meant for you. Type yes if you're ready to receive what God has prepared. Archangel Michael comes to remind you that what is meant for you cannot be missed. God's blessings do not slip away like shadows in the night. They are steady, guided by the hand of the One who created time itself. You have not missed your moment. You have not fallen behind. The blessing that is approaching is one that has been crafted carefully, lovingly, for you and only you. There is nothing accidental about it. There is nothing random in God's love. You may feel tired. That's okay. God knows the weight your heart has carried. He's seen the quiet tears and the whispered prayers that never made it past your lips. He's heard the longings you couldn't even put into words. He understands your silence better than the world understands your voice. And He's been responding all along, not with sudden explosions of change, but with subtle shifts, with grace tucked into your every step. Now, the time has come for what He's been preparing to reach you. It's not just about a single blessing. It's about renewal. A healing of places deep within you that you've learned to ignore. A soft undoing of the fear you've held onto for so long. A divine embrace that will remind you that you were never abandoned, never unseen, and never unloved. This blessing will not arrive to fix your life, it will arrive to remind you of the beauty that has always existed within it. Archangel Michael stands beside you now, not just with strength, but with peace. He knows what's coming will require you to release old thoughts, to step forward with a new kind of faith, not the kind that demands evidence, but the kind that moves even when nothing makes sense. The blessing that approaches is not for your comfort alone, it's also for your calling. God is drawing you closer to the purpose He placed inside you long before the world tried to define you. You are not who your past says you are. You are not the sum of your pain, or your mistakes, or your regrets. You are a living story of redemption in progress. And the chapter that comes next will be marked not by suffering, but by light. A light that pours into every corner of your life, not just to illuminate what is there, but to reveal what God has been building while you were waiting. Type 222 if you feel the shift happening in your soul. It may feel like nothing has changed, but trust the feeling rising quietly within you. That warmth. That small stirring of hope. That breath you didn't know you were holding finally being released. Those are the first signs of what's on the way. God never asks you to understand the whole journey, He only asks that you keep moving, keep trusting, and most of all, keep your heart open. You see, blessings don't always look like sudden miracles. Sometimes, they look like peace in the middle of confusion. Like stillness in the eye of a storm. Like quiet courage returning to your bones after years of carrying fear. This blessing won't just change what's outside of you. It will transform what's within you. It will teach you to live from a place of trust, not survival. From rest, not worry. The healing you've needed is part of this blessing too. God doesn't just want to fix what's broken, He wants to renew your heart. To remind you what joy feels like. What it's like to laugh without fear, to love without conditions, to dream again without doubt whispering in your ear. This isn't a temporary shift. It's the beginning of a new season, a sacred one. And it's arriving now. You didn't miss it. You didn't wait in vain. You didn't endure for nothing. Every moment you stayed faithful, even when you didn't feel strong, was seen. And heaven responded, not always in the way you expected, but always in the way you needed. Sometimes, the delay is not about the blessing needing time, it's about you being prepared to carry it well. And you are ready now. You've been prepared in the quiet. Shaped in the fire. Softened in the waiting. The hours ahead are not empty. They are full of grace. Every breath you take brings you closer to the shift. And when it comes, you won't have to question it. Your soul will recognize the presence of God. You'll feel it in your chest. In the way peace begins to settle over you like a warm blanket. In the way the chaos loses its grip. In the way your heart stops racing and simply rests. That's what this blessing carries. Rest. Peace. Clarity. And a beautiful kind of joy that doesn't fade when life gets hard. It's the kind of joy that's rooted in truth, truth that you are loved, truth that you are chosen, and truth that your life still holds meaning beyond what you've seen. This is the moment your faith has been waiting for. Not loud. Not showy. But powerful. Life-changing. Deeply personal. Type 555 if you feel that something from God is coming into your life soon. You may have felt forgotten in the noise of the world. You may have walked through seasons where you wondered if anyone truly saw you. But God did. Amen.